Alright, let's get this started. So, what's new? Let's look at Pittsburgh first. After Brooklyn, as expected. Does it cost as much as a high tier already? Oh boy. That might change, I suppose, but still. Anti-frag armor all over the hull, as is typical of American ships. Small rolled cemented belt. Anti-frag deck. And the fire directors. Let's take a look at that, really. I was afraid we said that. Let's restart it quick, I suppose. Now I just need to wait for it to restart again. Okay, so we have Pittsburgh, which is just Baltimore, but instead of these quad 40s, you have dual 76s. I believe in lesser quantities. Four to one's side, one here to rear, at the front. That's going to be a lot of HEVT coming your way. If it is loaded with HEVT, that is. Huh. Doesn't tell. Seems... I don't know what these fire directors are going to be like. But I'll test it out later after we're done with everything. That's the only ship the Americans get. USS Pittsburgh and finally their tech-free Baltimore. Should be alright. I hope. What's next? Germany. Right, Germany. The premium Karlsruhe? Karlsruhe? I don't know, Karl Street, whatever it is. Which specifically class is it? Just K class. It's the same as the Curl. 3 triple turrets with 15cm guns. The rear ones are offset, which is always annoying to look at. Then you have 3 dual 10.5s. 4 dual 37s. And 8 single 20s. What does it gain over the actual kill? Oh, it gets into 105s instead of 88s. 1 more 37 as well, and twice as many, so more AA, as is usual with premium cruisers. I don't know if I'd recommend a cruiser like that. They're pretty solid cruisers with their armor piercing, for as far as I know, because I always get slapped by them. Seems a bit... yeah. Oh well. What's the other ship? M17. Coastal Fleet. 3.3 close. The same as the premium one. The BR is a premium one. Then our price. 5. And of course the premium has more anti-air, as is usual. But only 237s, I think. Yeah, only those 2. And are those... what 37s are they? Oh, they're the rapid fire 37s. They're actually quite good. I mean, that's it. Yeah, the M802, this fall summer landing event, has been absolutely dominating the coastal field because it has the destroyer damage model. Now it's a question of seeing if the M17 will have the same model as well, but I suppose it will. Because why wouldn't it? Oh, it has less 2cm as well. It only gets them in single turrets. And not in the duals that the M802 gets. Hmm. To be honest, the M8... yeah, all the BBs are still 6.0, don't worry about that there. That hasn't been changed yet. They're all 6.0. And the Russians got the first one with anti-air. Oh boy. So what does it have? The same 12-inch guns as an... are they the same? B2 caliber is long. What are the Poltavas? Oh yeah, they're the same. So they're still the same guns, it's still the same good old punch bags that, you know, punch power that Marie and Poltava has. But yeah. 6 76mm guns in these these clusters of turrets over here and on the other tower. 16 37mm guns, each like 3 per turret. Did I think? No, there's some on these towers as well. Oh boy. And 12 Dishka machine guns. It's going to be a tough target when approached by aircraft. What's the armor like? 127, 225, 125 for the upper bout. That's quite thin. It's rolled cemented armor, so it's a bit tougher than regular old homogeneous steel. So that's quite thin, especially when you compare them to Maria. Maria has a much more of the hull for Maria's covered by the thicker bout. Yes, there is a 138, the BV-138 or something for the Germans. Let me check, that's an aircraft though, isn't it? Yeah, German aircraft, hold on. Where is it? There. This, the patch note says it's a premium, but apparently it isn't. What is it again? Oh boy. That's quite the naval aircraft. Long protection, of course. 13mm gun there. Yeah, 220 at the rear as well, 20 there. Need a loadout. Only 50 kilos, not that much. But that's quite a funky little aircraft. What else is there for the fleet? Soviet premium smelly. It's just a PR-30, isn't it? Yeah, just a PR-30. No. This thing. Gets a nice camouflage though, as usual. And does it follow the same trend of having more anti-air? Yes, it does. Sort of. It loses 3 37s but gains 3 dual 25s. It has dual 25s don't mess about when they hit. What's this? Those are dual 37s. And here are the dual 25s. Same guns as I found on the PR1, what is it again, 183? The patrol boat is really mean. Yeah, that thing. The same 25mm guns, and those are really mean against ships. But other than that, it doesn't seem much of a improvement. Seems pretty much on par with it. 1000 G this, it's not that expensive a premium. Not much. You haven't missed much yet. I'm just going over the ships at the moment. Just got to done with the Soviets. There's not much yet. The US only gets 1 cruiser, Pittsburgh, after the Brooklyn. Costs the same amount as a battleship, which is a bit but this is the devserver, so that might change. The big difference between Pittsburgh and the event Baltimore are the rapid fire 76s instead of the quad Bofors. I assume they'll have HEVT as their main shell, but it doesn't tell. You can't switch them. So yeah, but they should have HEVT. Other than that, there's the German Karlsruhe, which is just a Köln but with more anti-air. And there's the German M17, which is just the M802 but with less anti-air. Yes, boat. Then, of course, the Russians with their big old battleship with a lot of anti-air. That smelly, which you just saw. The British should have pretty interesting stuff because their Churchills is now being replaced with something that should be a lot better, actually. What is it? HMS Vega, the V-class. These are really good guns, really. These 4-inch guns. They have a high rate of fire, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 50 rounds a minute. That's 20 rounds a minute even for the first stage, so that's every 3 seconds. 4 guns. This is going to be a pretty neat little reserve. No armor, of course, except for the thickest armor being, what is that, a gun shield on the 20mm? Yeah. Pretty speedy with 73 kilometers an hour, or am I still in an arcade or something? Yeah, it is arcade battles. 61, not that bad. Especially since it has spaded. Let's go up to 63. Yeah, should be a pretty neat little reserve destroyer instead of that godforsaken thing. What else? La Orla, premium in the coastal fleet. There it is. Basically the Peacock class, or the Peacock we have in the regular coastal fleet. This thing. But with secondary guns. And really nasty secondary guns as well. Like it has 20 mils, where are they? These 20 mils are like the same thing you see on the higher BR German tanks with a really fast rate of fire. And I think, do they get an APDS belt? Yes, they do get an APDS belt, so that's going to be something. Of course, the regular good old Automalara compact automatic gun. And 4 7.62s just spread over the ship as well, I suppose. It's probably going to be a neat little premium if you want to do the coastal waters, because the one problem with ships like this that only have one gun, like the Peacock, is that you have to always actively be aware of the aircraft and shoot them down yourself, and the Peacock, and to a certain extent Orla as well, has very little ammo on the main gun. It only has like 100 and something ammo, 115, if my math is right, and that's at that rate of fire, 115 shells will just disappear in less than a minute. So having some secondary guns to count on for just anti-air purposes is quite nice. Although it's pricey, isn't it? What is the price? 1,500 golden eagles. Jesus. And it's a 4. Okay, no. Yeah, that's definitely not worth it. A 4.0? That's going to face a lot of destroyers, and it cannot fight destroyers, that's for sure. What else? Oh yes, this thing, the Thermal Age, the biggest meme to be added to the British coastal fleet. Because it has a Valentine turret on it. Look at it. What is... The only problem is it's quite a tall boat, as you might see, and the turret is the only armor it has on it. And that's going to be quite a lot of hull with only 6mm of structural steel, so that's like 2mm compared to actual armor of steel. That's not a lot. This is going to get mown down by automatic guns, but I guess it has the range advantage, kind of. 2.7 isn't the worst BR for it though. It should be it's going to be an interesting boat for coastal fleet, that's for sure. Yeah, it's going to be something. And then for the blue water fleet, there's a new cruiser, Norfolk. For some reason a 5.3. Which is really confusing because it's a town class. So the same as London at 5.7. I think I see it didn't have more anti-air or something. No, it doesn't have more anti-air. But it has more armor, I think, or was it something like that? Not really, but it looks a bit. Yeah, just another box standard British 4 turrets, 8-inch guns in total. It only has SAP, doesn't it? I'm not really that big of a fan on SAP on British cruisers. It just seemed to be a bit lacking. I don't know why it's 4.3 or it's 5.3 though. Bit of a low BR for a ship like this. 2 octuple 40 mils, 820 mils, and then the dual 4 inches. Compared to London, what does London have again? Again, those 4 inches, and then a lot of Beauforts, isn't it? Yeah, a lot of Beauforts and a lot of 20 mils. 20 mils, 20 mils. And Beauforts 40 mils, yeah. But yeah, it's a devserver. Those BRs are probably going to change. That's it for the British then. What does Japan have on offer for ships? Of course, a premium Yubari. 1,750 is not... I don't know if that's really fair for a cruiser like this, because it's going to be a bit shit. Although at 4.7... I don't think it's going to compete well at 4.7, because I mean, you have something like Kako, an actual heavy cruiser at 4.7, and you have just... Oh, I guess it's something. What's the speed on it? 51. It's a bit slow. low for a cruiser like that. Pretty much no armor, I suppose. Yeah, that's less armor than a Kuma. I don't know if the Norfolk is better than. Oh, yeah, better than York. It's certainly better than York. Hold on, because it has one more gun turret, and it has more NTR, I think. Whereas York only has 3 20 mils, 2 quad 50 cals, and then the 4 inches. But are they single 4-inch cannons? Yeah, they're single 4-inch cannons, whilst Norfolk, I think, also has more armor. Yeah, also has more armor than York. Has more armor than York, has more gun turrets, and has more NTR than York. Yeah. So if you have to choose between York or Norfolk for your 5.3 cruisers, it's pretty easily going to be Norfolk. Or I can beat Japan, so Yubari. I'm going to do test drives later of the vehicles I can. I just want to go over the list of the new ships. So Yubari, then you have Aoba, which I personally quite in 5.7. I guess it's the same as for the Taka, isn't it? Although with a lot more 25mm cannons. How many is that? 15, 20, 35. Another 50. That's 50 25mm guns compared to Furitaka's 8. The other reason I like this is because it just has those rounded Japanese turrets. And what guns does this have? Because I think... Oh, they're the 2 or 3s, okay. Because I think... My fear was that with these earlier turrets, it would have the earlier 20cm guns, like the same on Kako. But it doesn't. It seems like to have the same guns as on the other. Yeah, it has the same guns as the other Japanese heavy cruisers. So another somewhat heavy NTR cruiser for Japan, going to be nice. Definitely something to replace Furitaka with, probably. The launchers are different. They're in the hull, as compared to like the external racks you see on Furitaka. But they don't have the same forward arcs as on Furitaka. That's going to be a bit annoying, but oh well. Yeah, this should be a neat little cruiser, I think. I'm looking forward to it anyway. And then for the last naval power, Italy. What does it get again? Arengabbiano, if that's how it's pronounced, probably not. A 3.3 ship. Alright, something to fill up their 3.3 lineup with DMC and the Reserve Turbine. It's, I think, a frigate or something along the... It's a gunboat, certainly, because it has a big old 100mm gun on it. Let's fire rate on that thing. 6-second reload? That's not bad. Not too bad, at least. 2 dual 20s and 3 singular 20s. These 20mm are kind of iffy because they have a very small belt, and a relatively long reload for the belt. But they're a bit inconsistent. No armor either, is there? Yep, no armor except for that and a very thin hull. If it has the frigate damage model, so the destroyer, the blue water damage model, it should be alright. If it doesn't, it's going to be a bit of a problem. And what else did they get? The Italians, Aran Leone, a destroyer. There it is. I'm not sure what to think. So it's basically the big destroyer that the Italians get. It has 8 guns, or dual mounts. Only 4 torpedoes, oh boy. Then it has some 40mm automatic cannons, I assume here on the side. Yeah. So 40 mils and some 13.2s. At 4.7. The only armor you have is on the turrets, and that's not that thick. Is the magazine? The magazine is sticking above the waterline, so that's going to be problem when you're getting... Well, the rear one isn't, but the front one certainly is. What else? What are the shells? HEAP. I quite like the Italian armor-piercing shells, because they can punch straight into engines and kill a lot of crew that way. But 4.7? Like, these guns... I've noted this on my Aviere video, but every single one of the Italian destroyers before this one has different guns. But I think these ones are the same as on the Turbine, so the reserve. Which is it? So 45 mod 1926. Yeah, it's the same as on Turbine, which is going to be a bit, you know. I didn't much like the Turbine myself when I spaded it, but it wasn't that long because it's a reserve. But on Leone, I don't know how it's going to fare, especially because the reload on those guns isn't exactly fast. 7 rounds a minute, that's almost a 10-second reload. Like, and this is the same BR as Porter, like the American Porter, which for comparison is, where is it? Has bigger caliber guns, or 5-inch guns, and they fire at 22 rounds a minute, which is more than 3 times the fire rate of Turbine, and they have the same number of guns. And more torpedoes, more anti-air, that kind of stuff. Yeah, Leone is probably going to be a bit of a struggle bus when to spade, that's for sure. Although the armor piercing will be pretty nice, I suppose. And that's it for all the new ships. If anybody wants me to review the new tanks or anything like that, just say so in the chat, but I'm mainly focusing on the ships. What else do we have? I should test tries after this as well. Where is it? Apparently a lot of the visual... I'll do the tanks as well then, and then I'll go into test drives. Other than that, the patch notes don't really say anything of interest. I will note that sound changes have been made again, and visual changes have been made as well. The one thing I must certainly look into is the new aiming system for the larger ships, because they're a bit controversial of a topic recently. Anyway, the tanks. Let me just bring up the list again. Where is it? Tanks. I'll start with the Americans. They only get one new top tier tank, this one. I don't know much about tanks, so I don't really know what to say of it. I'll just look at it, I suppose, for those that are interested. This one does have a countermeasure, I believe. Yeah, like a passive. What is it called? Is it passive protection system? I don't know. I don't know how it works either. So, but just so you know, this Abrams has passive protection. Other than that, it's just another Abrams for as far as I know. Other than that, Germany gets the Marder. Another IFB. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, just another Marder. Can't really say much. Although it no longer has that weird little machine gun turret on the rear, it's just now slapped to the side of the turret. That's thermals. The standard stuff. Then there's the Soviet Sprut, which was shown in the teaser trailer. This thing. quite chunky of a tank. No armor because it's a light tank, of course. Yeah, it's more the same really. Another an interesting light vehicle for the Soviets because it carries a main battle tank gun. No thermals though. None whatsoever. Well, it's Great Britain with the Vickers. Where's the new Vickers? There it is. It's similar to the previous figures, the hull wise, but of course the turrets is quite different. It also doesn't have the same ridiculous reload as on the Vickers Mark II. Although I think I've heard this is the only British tank with heat FS, which is something I suppose. Japan gets a lot of tanks apparently, jeez. To get, well, they get American tanks, because why not? I suppose. Although it does fill up their NTR a bit, which was kind of needed. Then they get a new Type 74, and the other one was renamed. This is like an earlier Type 74, it just gets... yeah, it doesn't get the Type 93 shells. But for as far as I know, it's just another Type 74. 0.7 of a lower battle rating. Then there's the Wheelie Boy for Japan. Just something. The fact that the thickest armor of it is 10mm is not quite... 10, 20mm. Yeah, that's going to... okay. 5-man crew on a wheeled vehicle this small. Okay then. China gets a ZTZ, but that was shown on the dev blog already technically. Where is it? All the way at the end, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know if it's new or not that they now show the name of the type of ERA. What does it look at again? Some scout car. This thing. Which is kind of... yeah. And then Sweden gets their little weird NTR. I don't think you can. That was like a one-off in one of the previous dev servers. I haven't really been looking at Discord though. And I don't have access to the craft ship because I haven't unlocked it myself, which was the ship where you could do it last time. But I don't think that's a feature. I didn't see it in the notes either for the dev server. And I'm sure I'll be told in the course of this day if it is or not. But now what I was going to do, test drives, that was what I was going to do. But sadly, because I'm not a community contributor, I do not have access to all of them. Like the Pittsburgh I can't do. The Smelly I could do because that's a premium. But the Shkaya Komuya I can't do either because that's a battleship and I don't have any Russian blue water ships. Other than the reserve, of course. And I kind of want to wait for the visual changes and the sound changes until I get to a ship I actually want to try out. Although I could kind of try out the Karlsruhe, I suppose. Seeing that it has improved on the air. Let's do that. Let's try out the Karlsruhe. Sail. All right. Let's see what kind of sounds could change.
Bordschützen suchen nach Zielen in der Luft und auf dem Wasser.
That's a bit loud.
Bordschützen suchen nach Zielen in der Luft.
It's quite a different sound for 20 minutes, that's for sure. The new Naval sound is also quite interesting.
Flugzeug abgestürzt.
I didn't put this in arcade, did I? Oh, it's something you only see in the gun site, interesting. I don't... Why is there a marker in there? Also the new reload circles there just above the hotbar, showing which turrets are available, which are reloaded, are quite a nice touch, I believe. Oh, the measuring range, jeez. Is this arcade or not?
Geschafft.
Let me just double check, because that if that's the realistic system, I don't want to believe it. They put it in arcade, come on. Why does it not want to work? Oh boy, what did I break? Another ship then, I suppose. Kind of want to try out the Aoba, because I've heard that the 25 sound quite nice now. Can I preview it? Can I just save it? Yes, it is realistic battle, which that kind of yeah. Hello, Graph. Only saw the message now. The fact that the previous one was also realistic battle makes me kind of concerned, because that's weird how the aiming system works then. Radar. So interesting. Very interesting. Those 25 sound nice, no? But that means that ships now get their surface radar, I suppose? Or is it the air radar? Why is there a nameplate on that aircraft if this is realistic battles? Why is it there? Why is there a distance below that fletcher when it says that I'm measuring range? What does this mean? That measuring range is taking ages. I hope it's a test drive thing, Graph. I hope it's a test drive thing. But I'm very concerned that I might have to do. So, this... I don't like this. I already don't like this. Why am I told where to aim to hit the target? Why am I told that is my question. Like, let me just restart it. Switch off my anti-air so it doesn't drown out the noise. And if I go on the moving target, will it give me a lead? Will it give me a lead? That's taking ages as well. Like, can I shoot him and kill him? No, I can't. Kind of, because that's one of my major concerns. Is can my guns actually shoot a target that just suddenly popped up? Why do I have a lead indicator? Ah. I guess I can understand that it's realistic for the fire control system to tell you where to fire. But why? Like one of the major things that's still different. Also, oh, I can't. Okay, I can still actually correct it. I can still correct the range myself. Thank God. And I can still shoot myself, right? Yeah. So I assume, at least that's a bit of an improvement. I assume that means that the lead indicator is just that. It's just you aren't restricted to only waiting every time it updates the range. But what about this? So the range you used to have on like the right hand side where the updating range now is, the range like saying to target and correction, is now just replaced as in this marker, because I know. Oh, I thought. Why are there markers? Please, this is. I'm not going to be too nitpicky, but this is realistic. Why am I seeing a marker? That's the one reason I still play realistic, is so that people do not see a marker when they just randomly press X. I'm not. I don't like the fact that there's a marker, even though this is realistic. I just don't. The new reloads, new reload, yeah. You don't like the circles? I quite like them. I like the reload animations. Kind of has a, I would say a rip-off of like World Warships, but more like a, I don't know, yeah, it's just, it's simple. What is this thing? That's what I'm curious about. Is it telling me where my shells are going to impact now, or like what elevation the guns are? Because that is kind of useful, because the guns just tend to go wherever they want. I can bring it down manually with the scroll wheel, so that's something. So I can. So if I aim here, will I hit that Fletcher? Because normally when I use my mouse wheel to scroll, and what I said in my aiming tutorial video, I'm going to take a minute here, I just set up playing that shot down. What I said in my aiming tutorial video is that when you use your scroll wheel, it doesn't decide the impact point with the water, it decides the range at which it converges with the crosshair, which it still seems to do, seeing that I can still influence the impact point with my crosshair. Turn that sound down, don't I? Where is it? Gunfire volume, there it is. Let's turn that down a bit. I don't really see what this adds upon the already existing aiming system, other than a lot of visual aids. Because the mechanics still seem to work the same if I manually overrange. The core system behind it still works the same. But now you just have the visual representation of where will my shells land, which I guess your fire control system does as well as give range. I'm still not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that marking over it. The visuals are kind of nice though, but that's kind of disappointing for 8-inch shots to do. That looks the same. if I were to say how bad of an addition it is, I wouldn't say it isn't a bad addition at all. Because it doesn't add anything. Like, well, it adds something, but it doesn't change anything to the aiming system. It adds graphical aids. The only thing that annoys me is adding the lead indicator. Because that's... Though, yes, fire control systems would provide you, I suppose, with a location of where to shoot, like how much lead to give. And the other thing is, of course, that the lead is only accurate if the ship sails in a straight line. Since the leave was updated, like, hold on a sec. Let me restart it again. I'll have to shoot that plane then again, but that's just what I'll have to do. If I am to target the moving target, right? It says measuring range. But it isn't measuring the range. It's calculating the lead. Because I can already shoot it. I already know the range. Like, I know it's a kilometer away, and my correction above it already says as a whole. Deal for 25 for a second. So I can already shoot this boat perfectly fine. But when it measures the lead, it says right there, aim right there and you hit center of mass. As long as the boat stays on the same course. So if it changes course, the lead indicators... right now, if I were to shoot at the lead indicator, it suggests to me I'll miss. Now I'll hit again, because it just updated. So I don't really see... I don't know what to think of this, really. Like, part of my purist self wants to think, no, just don't, because it'll make everything easier. But then the part of me that wants everybody to have the same kind of playing field kind of thinks the same thing. Sure, keep it in, because it makes everything for everybody easier. I don't think... The only problem I have with it is that this updating range timer is different for every ship. So that means that some ships have the advantage over other ships, which is a bit of a... I don't know what to think of that, really. It'd also be nice if there was a way to change the color of that HUD, because that red is way too... Like, the... People have been abusing the selecting a target and putting a box around them for ages in Naval, right? But having that red text over it is like just really pointing out where they are. Because the box would sometimes make it still a bit difficult to see where exactly they are. Especially if you have to look through dark terrain. But this is definitely not going to stop me from playing Naval. It's going to be interesting to see how it will change it, because I assume that a lot of like the less experienced players will have a more even playing field, I suppose. A higher chance against the veterans that know where to aim. But it isn't... I would definitely not go as far to say that this is just aimbotting or aim assistance, because when does it update? Like every 20 seconds, and then it's only valid if the subject stays in a straight line. What I assume you'll see happen is that a lot of the veteran players will have to start moving in snake patterns. Like, they will not be moving in straight lines anymore. But that then also adds the problem that they'll get to objectives even slower. And that's a whole other can of worms. It's going to be interesting to see what this does on the live server, but I'm kind of on the fence on whether it's good or not. I do like the new site in general, though. It looks a bit more like a naval site. But other than that, it's a bit... don't know what to think of it. I also want to check what it is, like, what was this? The fire director. So I also don't know what these times mean. So when does it... So the fire solution calculation time is the initial lock? Is it like the initial time it takes for the initial target to then have the lead indicator? And then the update time is just the update time. I suppose. Well, yeah. And I assume that measure accuracy isn't the accuracy of your range, but the accuracy of the lead indicator. Which would make more sense. Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's probably a change that would have happened someday. And I'm kind of happy to see that it doesn't nerf ships. It is a completely separate mechanic that's been added on top of the aiming system. It doesn't change anything about the Naval's aiming system. It just adds another aspect to it. And that was what I was kind of fearing initially, that it would replace parts of the original system. But I'm happy with this. It's just an addition. Another addition to get used to. And another reason I'll have to update that aiming system video. I also want to check like the early ships. Like where is like Mutsuki? What is the thing on that? Does it even have a fire director? Does the this 8? So a longer time. 30 seconds. I'm just going to test it again. See what happens. See what happens. Those 7.7 sound like actual machine guns now, so that's nice. They're not going to shoot anything down, so why bother? I'm like, part of me is happy that this fire control system is literally just adding a lead indicator. That's it. There's nothing else to it. But part of me also says, why do we need a lead indicator? Also, I don't. Why did they change the text saying like range to target and correction? Why is it now in red text over the target, and why can that just not be in the gun set like it used to be? I want to look through the options if there's like an option to change that. Naval battle settings. Is there any new options? No. Yeah, this fire control system stuff shouldn't be too much of a... I wouldn't say it's a game breaker, but it's definitely going to change things. It's definitely going to stop people from sitting still and sailing in straight lines, which I'm kind of a fan of, although it's a bit of a ham-fisted way to try and do that. Are there any ships I should test sail? I'm thinking. I kind of want to test sail Yubari, but I can't test sail the US ships. I can't test sail the German M17 because I'm just not that far yet. And it's just going to be similar to the M802. I could test sail the Karlsruhe, but again, it's just a Köln with more anti-air. The Russians, sorry, have a PR-30 with different anti-air, not more, but different. And I would love to test sail that just to see the anti-air in action, but I can't, sadly. Anything here I can test sail. I could do Vega, Norfolk I can test sail. Then there's the premium Orla, and I'll test sail the British ships because why not? First of this Fairmail because it looks absolutely ridiculous. If it's okay, let's see what a Valentine turret
Gunners
can do.
are searching for airborne and surface targets. Gunners are searching for airborne targets.
I need to tune it down because it's way too loud for me. For this, naval site is for all navies, but only the bigger ships get the lead indicator, so to speak.
Aircraft down.
The enemy is burning.
It's kind of a weak main armament, but I kind of was expecting that. Because it's a 6 pound with a relatively slow reload. It's probably best to just like use a 20 mils as part of your main armament. Yeah,
The enemy ship
just use your 20 mils as the main armament, let's say. Does have like... Oh, that mortar is fully rotatable, okay. Let me like aim here. Okay. Does it land there? Does it go that far? Okay, a problem I've noticed. This aim point indicator no longer tells me how far that is, which it does with the current system. Like with the live server system. That aim point usually also has a range associated to it, but it no longer does, which is a bit of a small issue, but I guess not that detrimental. Although it was useful to know like how far away you were from something. Those gun sounds are going to be interesting if we're going to play Coastal, that's for sure. Definitely going to be an interesting sound experience for playing Coastal. And Blue Water as well, I suppose. So yeah, that's the thermal age. Return to hangar. Next, the Orla, which has some interesting things. Like, if anybody's thinking of buying the Orla, don't. That's a lot of money for a ship that's not going to be good at 4.0. Don't. So the Orla.
Gunners are searching for airborne
Let's
and
put them on
surface
air
targets.
targets.
Gunners are searching for airborne targets.
Yeah, that's a rapid fire counter, right? Kind of interesting that it fires in bursts. Accuracy is kind of lacking.
Aircraft.
So yeah, this is like, it's neat and all. It's also, I think, quite historically interesting. And it does get the lead indicator. Interesting.
The enemy ship sank.
But I mean, are those 20 mils really worth like 0.3 of an up tier and 7,500 golden eagles? I don't think so. Because this thing at 4.0, that's
Threat in the air.
like, this thing can already not fight destroyers that reliably. What is it going to do against 5.0 light cruisers? Yeah, that's not going to be a good 4.0. Oh, hello there. Welcome. If you want me to go over anything ship-wise, please do tell in the chat. Blue Water Fleet for British also going to do. And I'll starve the new reserve, the Vega. 220 mils, 220 mils there. This really should be an interesting reserve, though, I think. Okay. Excuse me. Huh. Okay then. Game crashed. That's all right. It apparently didn't like me putting a a few bouts of 20 million. That's quick to resolve. Just start the game up again. The American one? I don't know about the F4E. I don't own it either, the American one. I'll show the Italian F104, don't worry. The F4E, I don't know if that's a new skin. Is this a new skin for the F4E? I don't know. I don't, again, I don't have it. I don't really play top tier jets. And I can't show you the cockpit either because I don't have it. If the Japanese F4EJ has a new cockpit, I could show that because I do own that. But I will again, first, Italian F104G because he wanted it to. Somebody asked me to. Where is it? There it is. It's, yeah, a starfighter, I suppose. A bit boring for camouflage wise. What is it? A9Bs. 2,000 pound bomb is a bit interesting, but I mean, other than that, you just have two M9Bs. What BR is it? 10-3 with A9Bs. I suppose. 10.0, what is it? Oh, it's 10.0 in realistic. Yeah, that's doable, I suppose. What's the speed like? Pretty similar to everything else, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really that... I don't really know much about top tier jets especially, so... I'm more the naval guy. So, I was going to test drive the Vega before something stopped me. Where is it? There it is. Test sell the Vega. Why did it... why... If it crashes again, I spare the gold. No, it is not this time.
Gunners are searching for airborne and surface targets. Gunners are searching for airborne targets.
I mean, 420 mods is not that bad per reserve, but yeah. You have to hit the target, of course.
Aircraft down.
It's a bit late, really. It also gets the lead indicator, which is something. Yeah.
The enemy ship sank.
I still have the shell cannon enabled on this, don't I? Oh boy. Where can I disable that? Yes, thank you, because no thanks. This should be a really nice reserve for the British, because these rapid fire 4-inch guns are... I like them a lot on the Hunt class. But of course that was before the turrets slowed down quite a lot. I think, do these get a sap shell? Because if they don't, then it's a bit of a problem, I suppose, but you can work around that. Do they get a sap shell? They do. So this should be quite a nice little reserve. Well, especially compared to that thing. Jesus, the Churchill is just one 4-inch gun. Why that ever got passed as a reserve, I don't know. Other than that, Norfolk I still need to test sail. did it again, I just removed all my secondary ammo.
Gunners are searching for airborne and surface targets. Gunners are searching for airborne targets.
Aircraft down.
It's quite interesting though that most of the blue water vessels that had radar now do have radar. Although I believe this is just a anti-air radar by the looks of it. Still, it's quite nice. Let's test this against all this just air explosive, we can always do it. 15 seconds reload. Well, yeah, standard I suppose for a cruiser, for a heavy cruiser.
Enemy ship on fire.
That's to be expected. The shell splashes are quite interesting because they're, you know, actually large. You need to test it with Hugo in a second just to see how large those shell impacts become.
The enemy is burning.
Definitely hits like an 8-inch gun. The real is a bit, I guess it's normal, 15 seconds for most of the heavy cruisers, but
The enemy ship sank.
was that an ammo detonation I just saw? What was that? Oh, it is the ship exploding. Oh, a new sinking animation. Interesting. But yeah. Norfolk is just another British heavy cruiser. Certainly nice because they had a bit of a... They kind of lacked decent heavy cruisers, I believe. Well, especially early on. You don't really get a decent heavy cruiser until you had Southampton or London. I don't really like York that much. Little anti-air, you know, 6 guns. Norfolk is definitely a nice addition. I still need to test drive Yubari, but first, Hugo, I want to see what those shell impacts look like against this ship. And game crashed again. Okay, game. That's something, that's for sure. So let's try that again. Okay, Japan. Then does any of these is my... Yes. No, that's the first time on it. Oh, Hugo. Where is it? That's... Nope. Okay, this time it worked. So... I do like this, the new sound of machine guns. They definitely sound like machine guns are supposed to now. That. Of course, it wasn't actually protect against aircraft. I kind of like those circles, but that's definitely a bit too much of the good stuff. Did I just... Interesting. By using the ranging shot whilst I was on my secondaries, I fired off my main guns. Okay then. But that really works, I don't know. Oh well. Let's see what it looks like when I shoot a cruiser or something. The guns still sound the same on this. It might have just been the autocannons that changed the sound changed. Definitely impressive. So let's try it again. Does Hugo have a 40-second reload? What? Seems a bit weird. Thought it was less. I kind of like this new impact marker. It makes me more... Like I've heard a lot of complaining that this is like hand-holding new and inexperienced players. But experienced players are also going to be able to benefit from this, from being able to visually see where your shells are landing. Like, well, visually see, would have an idea of the rough area where your shells will land, thanks to the green circle. That is if that green circle is accurate, of course. But it looks like it is for the most part. So let's see if we can manage to get an ammo rack, because I'm kind of interested to see what that looks like with this. I should probably just do a torpedo or something. Put it into the ammo rack of something. What do I have of really fast torpedoes? Well, what ship do I have that's really fast? Shimakaze, I suppose. And let's just see what I can do against the ships. This is probably going to take a while though. So if anything else needs testing, you can ask me now, so that I can keep it in mind. What to do. I still want to try and get a custom battle ready, because I want to see what happens when the fire directors get destroyed. If it has an effect on your your range estimations or not. But it should only have an effect on that lead indicator thing, I suppose. Oh, interesting. So you have the red text over the target, but it doesn't update until you're in the gunner side. Oh, does it disappear behind mountains? Because I haven't tested that yet. Does it? Oh! Oh, now that's interesting. Can you no longer lock people behind cover just by seeing the slightest bit of them? But that needs some further testing for sure. That's because if that's the case, that is very good, because that's one of the major problems, well, kind of problems of the current naval aiming system, is that if you see the tiniest bit of the enemy's ship, like the top of their mast, or I don't know, the tip of their cannon, you can lock onto the ship and then know exactly where they are because of that square box. If they somehow manage to do it where that's no longer the case, I'll be mighty impressed. Yes, they did. Yes. Okay. That's definitely a good change, because that means that cover is now actually meaningful instead of having to hide behind it constantly. But now, an ammo rack. With torpedoes like these, it should be easy to get. And for those wondering or thinking that this stream is a bit low quality, I will make a separate video that should be higher quality on the dev server itself. New ships, new mechanics, everything. I'll put it in a neat little video as well after the stream. Just if anybody's curious. So what will a detonation look like? Quite impressive, but it's like definitely still. It's similar to the effects of a bomb. It's like still the same graphics, but just a little bit reworked of a bomb exploding on ground. But it's certainly interesting. Anything else I want to test? Actually, I think I might call for some friends of mine to test in some custom battles. Just one moment as I type that up. And while I wait for that response, I'll test Review Bari because I haven't done that yet. Lot of 25s, which are nice, I suppose, for a low-grade rig like this. But the 140mm guns are a bit... Also a nice camouflage for your Bari, actually. And the 120mm round has more elevation capability than I originally thought it had. So it might be useful for here as well. After the stream, I'm definitely going to have to look into what ships do and don't have this aim indicator stuff. Just contacting my friends again, see if there's anybody online to help me. So the barring. I already know how these guns are because I've spaded Kuma and Sendai, and I suppose they're alright for 4.7, but they're a bit lackluster. Their SAP isn't the best. They're lower caliber for cruiser standards because they have they're 140mm guns as compared to 152, so 4.5 inch instead of 5 inch. No, 5.5 inch instead of 6 inch. That's it. And their semi-armor piercing shells are a bit wobbly. Well, a bit bad, really. Especially the first one, with only 57mm of pen. Like, why? Why would you even pick it? And this one, of course, this is more closer to the AHE filler fly explosive. Also, somebody has a custom battle running already. I'll probably join them because I have stuff to test. I still need a lineup though. What do I want to test? I want to try and take out Kuma, but I also want to take out one of the frigates. Yes. Sam, so if you want to know what I found, you know how ships can easily target other ships behind cover, right? In the test drive, my lock on the battleship broke as soon as it was half behind the island. So I need further testing on that. I need to further test how easy or difficult it is to lock behind islands now. Just taking a lineup of various ships in order to see if it changes anything. Yeah, that'll do. I'll join your custom battle. Probably no more island camping, so that's why I'm interested. Where is the custom battle is the question. I don't see it. Could you or the other guy invite me directly? Like, you know, just via my name? Because I'm not seeing his custom battle. Yes, there it is. Okay, I'll join. Like, I want to see how much cover you need to be hidden. Because I remember the convoy ships, the AI ships, are kind of bad in that regard. Because they just it's just like a tiny island, like 1 inch above sea level. It just doesn't, they won't look on them. But isn't that bad here as well? That's my question. Also, these AI ships are kind of oof. That's a lot of AI ships. This is arcade, isn't it? Where is the... That's in controls, isn't it? The realistic game. Options, controls, I need controls. Where is it? Where is the option? weapon compounds, are they? They are. Interesting. There's a quest at some point.
艦内に火災発生
I might actually want to do another custom battle, really. Yeah, I'd like it if the was turned off. That is, let's just rehost it. Huh. Did they make it more obvious what is an AI and what's a player? Interesting. Let's see if he managed to actually change the map. And switch off the AI, because that was kind of... Oh, this Japanese port. Uh-huh. I'll spawn here in something like Nagano, or no. Yeah, Nagano. Now, where are you? There is somebody. Where's the other guy? Not yet spawned in. Oh, there he is. So I can lock onto that. Is this arcade or is this realistic?
We need to hold it.
Because I'm not seeing range and range numbers for some reason. I believe this is arcade. Or it's realistic with markers, I don't know. It would also be nice if we have like just actual... Is it, you don't think it's arcade? Okay. Weird, because this is definitely not the realistic aiming system because they don't have the ranges. Where is it? Is it common? No, it isn't. What option is it? To like change your naval aiming system from arcade to realistic? I think that's part of the problem here. I didn't see it anymore, and it's kind of concerning if they just got rid of that. It's not in my controls, and I didn't see it in options either, did I? Yeah, no, I don't see the option. Yeah, but Yeah, it's just markers on them, but why do I not see the... Why do I not have the realistic aiming system then? Because I can't control the range. If I could control my range, that should move with my scroll wheel, and if you... I don't... You probably can't hear it. But I'm using my scroll wheel and my impact point is not changing. Which is concerning me. Because that means that this is not a realistic aiming system.
The enemy has captured the
But
airfield.
that still shouldn't change the fact that I can lock onto through cover, I suppose. But apparently that cover is not tall enough to lock on through. Because I definitely locked onto guys when I saw him. Where is he now? Where is he? Resetting controls is going to be the room. I think, do I have the... I have my file somewhere, don't I? Import from file. There it is. If I just... That should be all my controls regularly. So let's see if that's... If that works. Waiting for the guns to rotate. No. Still doesn't change the range. Weird. And it was definitely working in the test drive. I definitely need to do some testing in a custom battle sometime. Like extensively later on tonight. With that lock-on system. Because I locked onto the battleship. It went behind an island. Like, and I was still visibly seeing it. But I couldn't lock onto it anymore. And it was really interesting to me. Oh no, the scroll wheel changing the range definitely is still a thing, because I saw it do that in my test drives. I saw the scroll wheel still changing the impact point of my shells. The main reason I'm thinking that this is not realistic, for some reason, or this is definitely not a realistic aiming system, is because I don't see a range and I do not see my correction, which definitely is a thing in the test drives. It's weird that I didn't see the... Oh, I'm going to check if the Akazuki has radar. What is the Akazuki radar? You didn't have it in realistic test drive? I'll have to check again then, if that's the case. That's a big corpse. Still no radar feature for the Akazuki. Okay, that's kind of disappointing. Seeing that it's an anti-air destroyer. The more I'm getting used to seeing this fire control system being added, the less and less I feel on the fence about it. Like, I'm starting to kind of like it. But mainly because it's just... like, it adds to the aiming system, it doesn't take anything away. Will this Baltimore disappear? Will it disappear from my log? No. Definitely have to try to lay contact as well. Are there any changes of note other than these new ships and the gun sounds? And this FCS, of course. Is there anything else? Just that. Let me try and find the patch notes again. Does the 25... Like, what ship has the most secondary guns, like individual mounts? What ship has the most of them? Individual mounts. Tony? Do I have them in my lineup? I don't. I'll return to hangar and I'll take it. Because I'm curious. I'm curious if those... I'll take Baltimore in a second as well. First, Tony. Because I'm curious to see if those circles will like expand into the map and into the X-ray view. Or if they'll start to stack on top of each other. Oh, so it's just the top of the team that's being highlighted. Interesting. Okay. Weird. But that might be because of the aspect ratio I have to do for the stream. Tony, which is in this crew slot, yes. That's what I meant. I know that Tony has like a ton of... How many mounts does she have? So 18, 4, 12... 34 mounts. Definitely more than the Yakuzuki. That's... What? I see. I see. So instead of... So instead of having every single mount represented as a circle, then I just say, oh, that's within line of fire of some of the set. I suppose that's what that means. It means that just you can shoot with some of the secondaries because you have one single circle. Could it be an overflow error? Could it be an overflow error? Like they just had so much space for circles and Tony has more than that?
We captured the airfield. We must not let the enemy recapture it.
I am going to check Baltimore. But I think I'm going to start wrapping up the stream soon because I've looked at all the new vehicles. I've looked at some requests as well, and unless somebody still has any requests, I think I might end it here and then start recording for videos and stuff. First Baltimore. I'm not going to battle now. I can't go into battle because I changed nation, isn't it? I think I'll have to restart to the agenda, so I think I'm going to end it here, the stream. Yeah, and then no need any help. I don't really need any help with recording, but I still need to first think of what I need to record. But anyways, I hope that this stream was bearable, and I might be seeing you in another one next update, perhaps. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for joining me, and goodbye.